The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. Pascal Siakam tonight for the Pacers. 30 points. An assist there from Tyrese Halliburton, who was by far the game star. He had 12 rebounds, 15 assists, 32 points, and not a single turnover. And the Pacers are now up 3-1 as they win tonight 130-121. Great to have you with us here from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pidto along with Hahn and Wally Szczerbiak. So, guys, Knicks season is now on the brink. We look at the fourth quarter, Alan, and the Knicks have had great clutch play all year. And for a lot of the postseason from Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, but each in the fourth quarter scored only 2 points. Tough to win when Brunson scores only 2 in the fourth quarter and Cat scores only 2 in the fourth quarter.
Tough to win when you're chasing the scoreboard. Tough to win when you keep turning the ball over at the rate the Knicks are, which is not something that they did a lot this season. They were one of the best in the league at not turning the ball over. And what the Pacers are doing to the Knicks is the same thing the Thunder are doing to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They are taking those turnovers. They're turning them into points, 22 points a game. They got 20 in this one. And those are, to me, the momentum-changing, back-breaking kind of plays that can turn a series, that can turn a game. And it felt like the same thing happened again tonight.
Yeah, and Tyrese Halliburton was unbelievable. Yep. I mean, that first half that he played, he continued in the second half. He had 12 rebounds. The next closest Pacer was 5, and they struggled a little bit on the boards against the Knicks. He was all over the place. The Knicks had no answer for that double high screen and roll, single high screen and roll. He was flying off it. Mikal Bridges can't fight through a big screen unless he gets a help or a switch. And it just seemed like the Knicks were very good offensively for most of the game, but it looked like they just got a little tired in that fourth quarter. And I think that's one of the reasons why Towns and Brunson only had 2 points. They just couldn't fight. All that holding, all that grabbing, all that physicality just really got to him in the second half.
Pacers are an electric team on offense.
Yeah.
I mean, 130 points when they get going, Alan,
Yep.
they're just so difficult to stop. And then you throw in the transition. You mentioned the turnovers. Pacers 22 fast break points to the Knicks 2. That's key as well.
Yeah, and the start of the game was also 43 first quarter points. So you had to know this was coming. This was the stat to watch in the pregame show, which was they were losing game threes. It's the third series in a row they lost game 3 after being up 2-0. Shot poorly from 3 in game 3s, all of them, including the previous game. But their game 4s, they're shooting lights out from downtown. Now, they shot well from downtown in this game in the end, but they got off to an unbelievable start. Hit 6 of 8 from 3. That set their offense early on. Got the crowd into it. And for the Knicks, just trying to keep up was all they were doing with their offense, which shot the ball well. But once again, the Pacers came out and set a tone immediately, and they did it with their strength, the three-point ball and points off turnovers.
Yeah, and Pascal Siakam, he's shooting the ball as well as I've ever seen him shoot the ball from 3. There were a couple shots in that fourth quarter where you hope he's a little off balance. He's going to miss those threes, and he didn't. The Knicks were knocking on the door the whole entire game. I thought they played valiantly, but this team brought it. They earned that win 100%. The Indiana Pacers did. Now the Knicks are down 3-1. They get a game at home. They got to figure out a way to get that win at home and extend this series however they possibly can. This Pacer team, though, I thought Nesmith was going to be a little banged up. Obviously, completely wrong. He looked 100%. Did a great job on Jalen Brunson. Knicks got to retool. They got to lick their wounds and get ready for Game 5.
The end of quarters, closing quarters for the Pacers was huge. And the end of the first, end of the half, big. Start of the third quarter, also huge as far as flipping the game, where the Knicks actually had a 1-point lead. And then the end of the third, and of course closing the game. But this was it right here. The Knicks were up 1, and then they close the half in the last 90 seconds, getting a 6-0 run. 6 points is what they got out of this, and it was all quick strike kind of scoring, and the Knicks couldn't score as Jalen Brunson tried to draw a foul on that play, and instead they don't call it. They get the 2, and then you get this. Right, this is the layup at the end. This is the last of the 6, and now so suddenly at the half, the Knicks were trailing 69-64. Then they opened the third quarter, Wally, and it was a 7-0 run.
Yeah, and then they extended the lead to 12. Knicks, after that, they could never really make it a game. And to your point, there was a couple bad turnovers to start that third quarter. You can just see Jalen puts his head down, and he knows what's coming. A raining 3, a dunk, whatever. When you lose this team in transition, they are going to make you pay. They run to that three-point line. They run to the basket, and they just get whatever they want. That building was frenetic. That team was just keeping the pressure on the Knicks the whole entire game, and you just want the Knicks to be able to exhale. But this team will not let them exhale. They just keep coming at the Knicks, and the Knicks have to be ready for that. And there were, though, sometimes when the Knicks have open shots, you have to make those. Because when you miss an open shot and it leads to a long rebound, that fuels their fast break. That fuels their aggressiveness. That fuels their offense. They say, oh, you can't make your open shots? Well, we can. And here, take another one right in your face.
Yeah, it's for me, like that turning point right there, because it was neck and neck. As efficient as the Pacers were offensively in the first half, the Knicks were just as efficient. They were knocking down their threes. They were getting the buckets they wanted. Jalen Brunson was abusing the defense they were putting on them. Towns had a good little spurt in the second quarter. And then all of a sudden, that you don't close the half, but to open that third, which we know has been an issue for this team, the early part of the third quarters for the Knicks have been a problem, and it was a huge problem because suddenly what looked like a 5-point game was suddenly a 12-point game, and now you're chasing that. What did they do? Cut it to 5 was the closest they got. When they made their late push, there was a chance, and as Wally noted, there was a couple of open looks that they could not knock down, and the Pacers were able to survive that. Once again, the Knicks making a push from down double figures.
But you're watching. Knicks down double figures, 6 minutes to go. That's the Knicks' prime time.
Yeah,
but
they got them right where they want
As you mentioned, they just could not get they got it close, but they couldn't get it really close, Wally. Pascal Siakam, I'm going to show the fourth quarter here. He had a key 3 with the Pacers up 6, made it 118-109. That was a key 3 for Indiana to hang in there.
You can't go to the well that often. I mean, that was the key. You know, Turner hits that jump. Brunson hits the jumper.
This one right here.
Right there.
That's a big 3. Like these.
It was 115-109. That made it 118-109.
If you're going to leave anyone, he's maybe the lowest percentage three-point shooter. Bridges started getting hot at the end of the game.
That's a 6-point game, right, when he hit that.
Trying to keep it close. But then here, that right hand screen all the way to the basket. I mean, Halliburton getting to that right hand off that screen and roll was just so good. Josh Hart gets that bucket to go, but it was just too late.
Off the inbounds.
2 inbounds plays with under 2 seconds. Josh Hart commits a foul, free throws, and then an open 3.
They both went to the cutter, to the corner, and let the 2 wings. And that's bad communication, which, again, the Pacers make you make mistakes because they move so much.
You know what's amazing, guys? You watch the Pacers play. Only 11 turnovers. They play so fast. It often looks helter-skelter. We pointed out, perhaps a key number, Al. You pointed out, worth pointing out again. 17 Knicks turnovers, Wally, led to 20 Indiana
for a team that doesn't turn the ball. The Knicks are not a high.
They average 13 a game, so a little bit more than normal.
They're top 10, but they're top 10 in the league in controlling their turnovers. And they were the ones that would take your turnovers and score. But it's whatever the Pacers are doing defensively, and maybe some things the Knicks are doing offensively, has led to them being a high turnover team in this series.
It's the Pacers' pace. They make you play frenetic. They make you play fast. When you play a team like the Pacers, sometimes a quick 3, just get a shot up at the basket. Give yourself a chance at a rebound. At least you're not going to let them get going, you know, like an interception in football where they're taking it the other way so quickly and you're out of position just trying to get back on defense. I don't know. The Knicks got to make sure, obviously want to take good shots, but you got to take the first available open shot. If you turn it down, they will be like piranhas going after that ball and going for those turnovers.
Why and Brunson and Towns limited in the fourth quarter in terms of their production, Alan? What do you think? Very unlike the Knicks.
I think it was a little fatigue. I mean, Brunson's dealing with people pushing them all over the place.
They both were 1 for 3.
Get to the ball. Other guys, it's good. Other guys were aggressive. They were looking to shoot, looking to make shots. I think the Knicks read the defense pretty well. They were keying in on Cat and Brunson, bringing a double team on Brunson, just a naked double team right at the top right at the mid-court line. And Jalen would get rid of the ball, trust his teammates to make other plays. Some guys did. But at the same time, you couldn't stop the Pacers. That was the key. It doesn't matter who scores in the fourth quarter. The Knicks scored some points in the fourth quarter.
They did score 30 points in the fourth quarter.
That's a lot in the fourth quarter. It's the third quarter that you'd be more concerned with, especially the start of it. To me, that's the area of concern, was the start of the third quarter in a game that you already thought you had a lead and had a 5-point deficit. You had to come out of the gate when you know how much you needed this win. You had to come out a lot stronger than that, and they gave up 7 straight points. And that, to me, that was your ball game right there.
All right, coming up, we're going to hear from Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau and also get Monica McNutt's thoughts. She is in Indiana. Tom Thibodeau's Knicks now down 3-1. Game 5 is here in New York on Thursday night.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Pacers get 30 from Pascal Siakam and a triple-double from Tyrese Halliburton to beat the Knicks by 9. They're up 3-1. So the Knicks season on the brink. We will see you on Thursday night. Hour-long pregame show beginning at 7. It's Game 5 back here in New York. Hour-long postgame show, as always, follows game number 5. Guys, historic game for Tyrese Halliburton. Only Oscar Robertson and Nikola Jokic have had a triple-double to the extent that Tyrese Halliburton, Wally, had tonight, with 32 points, a career-high 12 rebounds, and 15 assists, and not a single turnover. Not a single turnover for him in 37 minutes of playing time.
Also had 4 steals.
Yeah.
Not always known for his defense, but he was in the right place at the right time. He is bringing it on that end of the floor, too. He was really playing the passing lanes well. The pace that he flies around the floor with is impressive, and also the vision that he has.
Yeah.
He throws some risky passes. These are not just simple passes.
Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, I know. It's just because.
Now look, we're going under the screen. How? Like this?
Yeah,
is
but
too
that's a
soft.
tough one. You got to live with a 5 feet behind the line.
He was making
taking
30
mid-range
footers
jumpers.
right early in the game, Wally.
Look at this.
But this
He's
stuff.
just running into the offense, though. Look at the pace he's playing with. I mean, it's impossible to guard someone when they're playing with this
Look at
kind
this.
of pace.
Keep walking away from him.
You know what's
Yeah, but
interesting,
that's
guys? He
a
took the
tough, long
blame
three.
for the
That's
slow
8
pace
feet
in Game 3.
Behind.
He didn't want to slow it down like what happened, Alan, in Game 3. He said it was his fault what
Yep.
happened in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
And Wally was clear he was determined to play fast tonight, and they never stopped.
He set the tone right from the beginning. 43 points in that first quarter. He had a historic first quarter with almost a triple-double. First quarter and then first half with almost a triple-double in the whole half. So the Knicks are going to have to figure out a way to figure things out, play a little bit better, continue. Listen, they played pretty well tonight. Like, the Knicks had to play at a high level just to be in this game with this team the way they play. So the Knicks cannot slip up at all, and they even have to up the bar a little bit more.
Talked about the bench a lot in the pregame. They got good minutes from DeLon Wright. Tom Thibodeau played 10 players. I don't know when the last time we saw that when it wasn't garbage time.
I like him playing 10 players because when you play 10 players and you give Brunson and Cat a little bit more of a rest, you would hope they would have some more juice for the fourth quarter. That really didn't happen, but against this team, you can't play guys extended minutes because the pace is so quick, they will completely just run out of energy and run out of gas.
2 best plus minuses. DeLon Wright plus 11, Landry Shamet plus 6. 2 best plus minuses on the Knicks tonight. Monica McNutt is in Indianapolis. Monica, as we break down what happened tonight, what comes to your mind first?
20 points off 17 turnovers, y'all. That's the ball game, especially against a team that wants to score well over 100 points and wants to run in transition. The third quarter, to me, the start to the third quarter in particular, the colloquial term, this is not a word in the dictionary, but that is used, is unserious. I thought the start to the third quarter was just so detrimental. You look at that final box score, guys, and you go 13 of 15 from the line, which was tremendous on behalf of the Knicks. The Pacers shoot 2 of 10 from the three-point line, and you're still outscored by 6. The third quarter, to me, is where I just was so disappointed in the overall result of that one. And I'm not going to challenge because I believe these guys were out here competing. But the turnovers robbed you of momentum and opportunities where it felt like you were starting to gain some traction, and of course, literally led to 20 points for the Pacers.
Yeah, Monica, we're sharing a brain on all that stuff. It's literally all I was thinking about was that the end of the second, early third, turn the game, and then the turnover part of it was a big story. But another big part of the story was the Knicks had no answer for Tyrese Halliburton, who had 2 quiet games in Game 2 and Game 3, vowed to be better in Game 4.
Hahn, but that's the thing, right? He had a monster line, and I take nothing away from Tyrese Halliburton. But you're this close to surviving that line, right? Like, he was terrific. I agree with you, Wally. He set the tone early in the ballgame, was flirting with that triple-double at halftime. All of that. Kudos, 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 flowers, flowers, flowers. and then 20 points off turnovers. The Knicks had the opportunity to survive that line, y'all. It's a 6-point game at what I think it was like three something, the 3-minute mark. And especially in the last 3 minutes of the ball game, you're so close. You're so close. Turnovers, rushing, traveling. Like this one bothers me more, I think, almost than game 1 does, if I'm honest. Because I felt like so many of the wounds were unfortunately self-inflicted.
So I love it, Monica. You're saying there's opportunity here. If the Knicks kind of clean up their ball handling and clean up their possession game and make sure they get shots, you think they have a chance the rest of the way?
I do think they have a chance to respond at home. I do, Wally. And I will say this, the fan base, and I'm sure you guys have been privy to it, and people may even be asking about rotation, about the bench players. And Pidto, you're right, to go 10 deep is a great sign. And I think you said this, Wally, maybe after game 2. I'm a little bit concerned about this team being a little out of character, and that being a little bit of a cause for alarm so far. You go home, though, you have the opportunity to limit some of those turnovers, to gather yourself in terms of making great plays and being able to finish great plays, right? I think there's a real chance that they take care of business at home at the Garden. But this one you really got to learn from, and you've got to stay connected as a team and accountable as individuals. I mean, Josh Hart, those turnovers are completely out of character for who he is.
All right, Monica. Indeed, Josh Hart, 5 turnovers in the game. Travel safely. We'll talk to you on Thursday night.
Great stuff, man.
Knicks, by the way, are
right,
now
y'all.
still 6-2 on the road in these playoffs, 3-5 at home. They came into this game 6-1 on the road in the postseason. Here's Tom Thibodeau's postgame comments, as always, presented by Chase.
Questions?
Tom, you guys spent most of the season as a low turnover team, 17 tonight for 20 Indy points. A lot of them felt unforced. Just from your vantage point, what were you seeing there with the turnovers?
Yeah, I think it was probably a compilation of things. Yeah, the first quarter was problematic. That set the tone for the game. Giving up 43 points, and then you turn it over against them, particularly the live ball turnovers. You're fueling, transition game, and we started slowly, and then we fought back, but we didn't close the half well. The last minute and a half, it wasn't good. Then we started the third slowly, and then we fought to come back, but we kept digging out of holes.
Tom, it seemed like you guys found something defensively in Game 3. Today, it seemed like every time you guys made a run, just couldn't get the stop. And I think, like you said, 43 in the first quarter. What did you see defensively that wasn't working?
Well, we knew it was going to be a fast game, so the priority was, defensive transition to get set. But we hurt ourselves with our turnovers, putting them in the open floor.
Tom, that was what I wanted to ask about, is that you and the players obviously have talked all postseason about the importance of 48 minutes. I'm curious, how challenging is it to make the right play, to make the right read, to make sure that you're covering the right rotation that many times over a 48-minute game against a team that plays this fast? Is it more of a challenge?
Well, I think the thing is every game is going to be hard fought. So even in tonight's game, we still had a chance at the end. So with the idea being, we say 48 minutes, and you're striving for that, knowing that it's impossible to get to that. You're not going to get perfection, but strive for it. Fight to win every possession. That matters. And you don't know which possession makes the difference between winning and losing in the end, but each possession is critical. So, and at the end, you obviously want to make more winning plays than they do, and we haven't done that. So, but that being said, it's get ready for the next game. So we'll look at the film, make our corrections, and just lock into what we have to do for the next game.
Tonight, what do you think of the way Mikal played against Halliburton?
Yeah, and it's not just, Halliburton's a great player, and you don't guard great players in this league individually. It's your entire team. And if one guy's not doing their job, everyone's going to look bad. And so, and there's a combination of things, whether we're talking defensive transition, isolation game, pick and roll game, whatever it might be, it's everyone being tied together and moving in unison and reading the ball correctly and making the right reads. And so He got off to a good start, and it's hard when guys get confidence, particularly great players get confidence early, it's hard to slow them down. So I thought the urgency to start the game and giving up the transition baskets, that hurts you because that gives players confidence, and then your job becomes much more difficult.
Tom, transition aside, Halliburton, it seemed like even in the half court, he was kind of able to just get to his spots and pick and roll or an ISO or wherever else. Why do you feel like he was able to get there? What do you feel like defensively you guys could have done to make it more difficult?
We tried giving them different looks, so we had to just do it better. And we'll take a look at the film, make some adjustments, and go from there.
Tom, you were talking about the turnovers. I know Josh, I believe he had 5, and he was in there for most of the fourth. What were you looking for from him there, and what did you think of his game?
Yeah, just, the hustle, like making defensive transition, getting more continuity into the offense, so I thought, we scored 120 points. That's plenty of points, but our defense wasn't good enough. The rebounding was good enough, but the defense and our turnovers probably hurt us.
Tom, it seemed like they had a lot of straight line drives. The paint was wide open. Was that a matter of trying to defend the 3 more, or what did you see that?
Yeah, and again, it's you're not guarding the ball individually, so you have to be in the gaps, and you also got to read whether the drive is a penetrating drive or a flat drive, and everyone's got to be tied together. So if we're giving gaps up, there's going to be seams. And so we have to do better at that.
Tom, what's your message to the team after an emotional loss like that? What do you tell the guys?
And again, it's not going to change. You go into the playoffs with the understanding of what each game is, and so after each game, you have to analyze why you either have won or lost, then make your corrections and get ready for the next game. And so the important thing is to reset. And you're not playing the series, you're playing the game. So what do we have to do to win that game? That's all each game is different, and have that understanding. There's a lot of emotional highs and lows in the playoffs. You got to reset and get ready for the next game. And hopefully you've built that habit throughout the course of the year of understanding how important each game is, each quarter is, every play, how important that is as well.
Tommy, I know he stayed in the game, but Towns looked like he was really favoring that knee at the end. Is that a concern for Game 5?
Yeah, well, he was able to go back in, so that's a good sign, and then we'll see where he is after he gets evaluated.
Tom, with the new starting unit, there was a big run to start the second half. Just, what did you see from those 5 on the court together?
Yeah, and there's obviously some good, but also things that we have to do a lot better. So I didn't think, we really, I don't think we had a good grouping. We started slowly, but I thought there was a stretch in the first half where we settled down and we played well. But then we didn't close the second quarter. So that, now we come in with a deficit, and then we start the third, without great energy, and you can't do that. And then once it gets to double figures, now they got more confidence. So we got to make sure that we play with the proper approach and intensity and force, and be connected.
Tom, when Josh fouled out, you went to Landry. Why'd you choose him?
Just, we wanted some more shooting just to see if we can get some more threes up.
Over Deuce?
Yeah, just a little more size, Yep.
Coming up, we're going to listen to Indiana coach Rick Carlisle. He had a masterpiece from his point guard, Tyrese Halliburton. The Pacers are up 3 games to 1. Stay with us, everybody. Pacers win tonight by 9 and now lead the Knicks 3 games to 1. Do or die for the Knicks on Thursday night back home here in New York at MSG. Game time at 8, so an hour-long pregame at 7. Hour-long postgame show, as always, follows game number 5. Let us now listen into the postgame comments from Pacers coach Rick Carlisle.
It was a very, very tough game, very competitive game. I mean, some of the shot making in this series has been really beyond belief. Both teams, some of the shots Anunoby's hit, and one of the setback on the left wing tonight was just just unbelievable shot, and so at these high levels, these guys do amazing things, and so when he can get a stop and a rebound, it almost feels like an anomaly sometimes. But proud of Ben Mathurin. The guy has stayed ready. Came in yesterday, worked, got shooting in, got some simulated game shots. I've just been encouraging him to stay ready, that we need him, and that the playoffs they're just a different animal. And so tonight he was great. Really gave us a huge lift and some really timely buckets. So really proud of him. I know Ty did some historic stat stuff tonight. That's great, but it's tough talking about stats when it's such a team thing right now. So happy for him. It'll get celebrated on all the networks and stuff like that. But in our world right now, it's day 7 of 13, and tomorrow's day 8. And we've got to just keep our eye on the ball and keep focusing on each day.
Rick, Tyrese put a lot of the team's offensive struggles on Game 3 on himself in that second half. What did you think of his changed approach today, and how did that help both him and everybody?
Well, he was the leader tonight. And, we had, some difficult film stuff yesterday, not fun. But our guys, they're authentic guys, and they want authenticity and the truth. And, sometimes the truth is pretty painful. But we allowed things to go a different direction than they needed to go in Game 3. And, tonight we were determined to turn it back our direction. And that said, it was still, when it's 7 points with a minute and a half to go, you can call it a one-possession game this time of year. It's just there's too much amazing shot making and too much variance in the game.
Josh Hart gave it all, 12 points, 11 rebounds, but did commit 5 turnovers. We're going to get Hart's post-game reaction when we come back as the Knicks lose tonight by 9. Welcome back as the Pacers beat the Knicks tonight by 9, now lead the series 3-1. So Game 5 back here in New York on Thursday night. Hour-long pregame at 7. As always, hour-long post-game show after game number 5. Let us now listen into the post-game comments from Josh Hart.
Yeah, well, we didn't end the half how we wanted. Like I said, it was 64-64. But a little over a minute, I think it was. And we let them get, there was a Halliburton 3 and a layup. So it was just, we had to end the half off better. Probably could have communicated a little better. Got back defensively in transition, the biggest thing. And then, started the third. Obviously, they came out aggressive. You knew they were going to. We got backs against the wall. We just got to make sure we fight out of it.
End of the day, the turnovers is something that's got to clean up?
Yeah, for sure. It's tough to win against a team like that who turns those turnovers to points. I think I had like 4 or 5. Just bad, just stupid turnovers. That you can't have that leads to easy baskets that lead to momentum. So we had to be more careful with the ball. Starting with myself, and we know we got to do that. I don't know, whenever the next game is.
Josh, what can you say about what Tyrese Halliburton was able to do out there tonight?
He played a good game.
Josh, I know how easily this series could be 2-2, and I know the narrative would be different if it was. I'm curious, just as a team that you guys kind of thrive, obviously, in these late-game situations and the comebacks and stuff like that, but with a team like the Pacers that just play so up-tempo, and with what you guys have said all postseason about the importance of 48 minutes, the decision-making and the pressure to kind of have to make the right decision, the right rotations for 48 minutes at this pace, is it any different for a team like you all to have to do that?
I mean, I think it's difficult for any team. Obviously they, you can stop one action, then it's the next action, and then it's the next action, and if one domino falls, or a couple of times you played good defense and. My man, made a back cut and he got a layup, and that's one person's mess up, and mess up the whole possession. So, obviously they're running good stuff, but we have to make sure that we're physical, locked in, and just making it tough for them.
You guys have obviously been a resilient team all year long. Just what's the message down 3-1 with going back home now for game 5?
Yeah, I mean we're going back home. I never known this team to quit. That's not the character of the guys that we have in the locker room. So obviously our backs against the wall, but we're competitors, and we're going to bring it until the series is over. So obviously we're disappointed with the position that we're in right now, but we don't quit.
I mentioned this. I thought when the Knicks got within 5 or 6 with 2-3 minutes left now, I think that they're going to win the game, because the Pacers a lot of times when the game is close in crunch time, they don't run the best half-court sets when the game is really to be decided.
Yeah, but it's obviously a well you don't want to keep going to, that you're always chasing the scoreboard. So as Josh was talking about the turnovers, and that's, you could tell in that locker room, that's all they're talking about, and he's looking at his own numbers, and he has 5. I mean, the Villanova guys combined for 11. And those guys are normally really good with the basketball. This is Monica said it, very out of character kind of performance in this game. And maybe with the lineup changes and all the things that are going on, it's kind of finding their identity again. But something slipped today. But I do believe everything Josh just said there. This is a tough-minded team and a tough team, not certainly going to lay down even though it's 3-1.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out back at MSG on Thursday night. Listen, they turn the ball over because the Pacers make you turn the ball over. I mean, that team defensively, their hands are all over the place. They read plays, they gamble. They go after steals.
Don't you think tonight some of the passes were, why are you throwing that? Like trying too hard to get a quick strike, or trying too hard.
It's almost like the Pacers speed them up.
It's almost, yes, you're driving a car a little faster than you want to drive a car. And all of a sudden, the defense gets up on you real quick, and you're used to kind of being able to assess the situation, and the things are coming at you so quickly that you normally, a pass that's normally open from point A to B, they're closing in on it. Because you're just a little out of character and you're not reading the speed of how they play with.
Two instances. Mikal Bridges one time had Halliburton on him. Halliburton had 3 fouls at the time. Bridges had him on his hip in the paint. And instead of just taking it up,
should have shot the ball. That's my point. 100%.
There was a couple of those in the game that made you say, like, just
a lot of
take
times,
the 2.
just take the first available shot.
Yes.
Against this team, if you mess around with the ball and play with the ball, they challenge you to make one more extra pass sometimes.
Yep.
Because then they're going to be on it. They're going to get it. So like that player, remember, you got to take that shot. You had a mismatch.
One bright spot here, guys, for the Knicks. Mikal Bridges coming into this game in the series, 2 of 10 from downtown. Tonight, 4 of 5 from downtown, finished with 17 points. His post-game reaction when we come back right after this. Pacers scored 43 points in the first quarter and ended up scoring 130 in the game to beat the Knicks. Pacers now up 3-1. Knicks season on the brink. Game 5 Thursday night. Hour-long pregame at 7. Hour-long postgame follows. Mikal Bridges tonight, 4 of 5 from downtown, but only 2 of 10 from 2. Here he is after the game.
I feel like I just play harder than us. I didn't play my best game, and I feel like on both ends, just let my team down a little bit, but we just kept fighting. They came out with more fire.
Mikal, what's your message to the team as you guys head back to the Garden?
Just one game at a time. That's really it. You just got to get ready for Game 5, and just one game at a time.
What has to be better? What you guys have already faced this postseason kind of help you heading into this next game?
It's just part of the grind, part of the story. Just we just got to learn from it. And we've been part of a lot of different games, different series. Just a little gut check time.
What has to be better in your opinion? Defensively, what has to be better?
Just communicate to each other. helping each other out. Sometimes with a scout, just being on the same page at all times.
Did they do anything different to get Halliburton in motion and to get him looks? So what did you see from the night that he had to?
Just keep him out in space. I think that's what it is. Just keep him out in space and let him play from there. I got to do a better job. We got to do a better job controlling that and helping each other.
Tom was saying the turnovers seem to put you guys in bad defensive spots with looking at transition. Is that what you saw?
Yeah, definitely. I think I had 3 of them and just bad turnovers. But yeah, just a team that play that fast can't give them transition looks like that.
Kel, offensively, when they got Halliburton on you, so it was, how did you just feel about your overall aggression, especially in the first 3 quarters?
Yeah, I think I was missing early and, I just wasn't making shots and trying to fight back on defense, get it going there. It's just tough. So just got to get back next game.
You mentioned communication, I think, after game 2. On defense, is there something specific about them that's kind of creating problems for you guys in terms of communicating with each other?
Just playing fast. I think playing fast and getting out, draws a lot of confusion. So you just got to be able to communicate in those situations.
Against that team, how much you got to be ready to come out in the third quarter where they kind of extended the lead?
Yeah, yep. You got to come out all quarters like that, but especially third as well. So just got to bring the fight.
Pacers began the second half on a 7-0 run. OG Anunoby, highest scoring game of the series with 22. We'll hear what he has to say when we come back right after this. Welcome back, everyone. As the Pacers tonight beat the Knicks, final count 130 to 121. Here's what is ahead. Game 5 is Thursday. That we know for sure. If there's a Game 6 Saturday, fingers crossed for a Game 7 on Monday. Pre-game shows at 7 for each night we're on, and also an hour-long post-game show after the game. OG Anunoby, season high 22. I should say series high 22. Here he is now after the game.
I think, they just made shots. They played fast. They played to their strengths. They made a lot of shots, some tough ones, and then some ones we could have prevented. So just have to watch the film and go from there.
How much did the turnovers contribute to that?
Oh, I'm sure it attributed a lot. Just them getting easy baskets transition. You always want to limit that. So just watch the film and get better.
Why do you think it's been tough to build and maintain leads really throughout this series?
It's a game of runs. Even when we go on a run, they're not going to lay down, just like we're not going to lay down when they go on a run. So that's how basketball is, especially with three-point shooting and variance and all that stuff.
What has to be the mindset as you go back to the Garden?
Just win the next game. Go back to New York and get ready to win.
One of the runs was late second and then early third. What did you see early third that allowed them to get going?
They got on transition, scored fast, threw the ball ahead, scored really fast.
OG, the lineup that's had success for you guys the last 2 games, I believe it's you, Cat, Deuce, Shamit, and DeLon, maybe not Deuce, somebody else, but what is it about that group that's been able to kind of stabilize things and get things going when the starters have struggled a little bit?
I'm not sure. I think just coming in with energy, playing hard, flying around, and then getting good shots, I guess.
How much do you think that some of the adversity you've already faced this postseason will kind of help you moving forward here?
Oh, yeah. You can always grow from everything. So even a loss, you can learn from it and grow from it. So we just have to grow from it, learn from it, watch the film, and get better. We'll be ready on Thursday.
Yeah. AJ, what did you see from Halliburton, and what do you think did they do anything different to get him going today, or what do you think?
No, I think he was just looking for a shot more. Coming off screens, ready to shoot, and then just playing fast and in the flow. It's hard when they're moving the ball like that. So
down the stretch, you cut it to 6. What did you see at that point?
Just getting stops and then running out, getting quick scores.
What are you expecting to see out of your team on Thursday night?
Just us responding, coming out with energy, responding, playing hard, and hopefully having a good first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth. Try to play a full 48 minutes of good basketball.
Anunoby with 22 points, but only 1 of 7 from downtown. Tyrese Halliburton, a triple-double, phenomenal game. More post-game reaction coming up.
The Knicks post-game show is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Pacers beat the Knicks 131-21. Tyrese Halliburton, 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds. Back now from the corner three, presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. As we continue our post-game show, boy, Halliburton, Wally, I know he's very polarizing, but when he is on, he is on. Now, he's not always on, but tonight, boy, that's a game for the ages.
It's a game for the ages. Just the expertise with the ball in his hands, the passing, just like telekinetic or whatever the word is, like passes.
That's
like
not
just,
it.
Can you spell that for me?
No, whatever it's called. It's like having ESP with your
telekinesis.
Telekinesis.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Whatever.
What did he say?
He has it. He has it with his teammates, and it's pretty impressive.
All right, guys, let us listen into post-game comments now from Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns.
Jalen, I guess for starters, what did you see was as the big difference today in how the game turned out?
Obviously, the first quarter, 43-35. Just obviously not a good defensive quarter from us. Offensively, the ball was going in, but didn't get enough stops. They came with energy and physicality and set the tone for the game. And the way we responded, obviously, in the second quarter was great. And besides the last minute and a half, and then just playing catch-up from that point on.
For either one of you, you guys spent all season being a low turnover team. 17 tonight for 20 points for them. It felt like a lot of them were unforced. Just in the moment, did you guys get the sense that just a little sloppy as a group with the ball, or was there something with their defense that sparked any of that?
I mean, a lot of them are stuff that we can control. As a team, we just need to tighten the screws when it comes to that. Just being aggressive. If there are aggressive turnovers, that'd be different. But passive turnovers is not us.
Guys, for either one of you, Indiana consistently made the extra pass tonight and converted. What are some of the things that can be done to maybe eliminate some of those backdoor cuts or some of the miscommunication we saw in the first half?
I mean, obviously, staying in our coverage most and foremost, and making sure that we're keeping one on the ball, keeping bodies on bodies. Do a better job of just not being in rotation, and yeah, that's it.
Karl, I know you were able to get back on the floor after your knee was hurting, but how's it feeling now? Do you think it'll prevent you from playing?
I'm only thinking about the loss. I'm not thinking about that right now. So, it's disappointing when you don't get a win, and we just didn't do enough to get the job done tonight.
Jalen, you guys have been so good with backs to the wall. Now it's elimination. You're facing Thursday. Just kind of what changes or what has to change as you come back out on Thursday at the Garden?
I mean, nothing else matters at this point. I mean, you got to give it your all. It's that simple.
Karl, when you guys are enjoying such a decisive edge on the glass, even in spite of the foul trouble, does that reinforce to some degree your approach taking that into game number 5?
I mean, at the end of the day, we're really just worried about getting the win. And, I think the playoffs have shown us that sometimes statistically you think you win these statistics and you win these categories and you're going to win the game. And I think for the whole entire playoffs, not just the series we've been involved with, it's just sometimes the things that are always told to be the things that will win you the game. Sometimes it just comes down to just winning the game. And sometimes it doesn't make sense when you win the rebounding battle and all that stuff and you still find a way to lose the game. I mean, it's just there's little things that just cost us, and there's little things that change the outcome of the game, and we just didn't find ourselves on the right side of the game tonight. You say we did a great job of rebounding. We also, on the same turn, didn't do a good job with the ball and just all around. So that's just one category of many categories, that you got to win a game, and we just didn't do enough.
The word was telepathic.
Yes.
Right.
That's what I was
Right.
looking for.
Just to clear that
Throughout
up.
that whole
Telepathy
interview
with
process,
his
we were trying to
teammates.
figure out what word it was that Wally was coming up with.
Telekinetic. He's connected to his teammates.
I think you put a P in there.
It's interesting. Carl Anthony Towns talking about things that we think are important and will lead to wins. We have always thought that home court matters. For the Knicks,
It has to matter now.
It must matter. And they've only been 3-5 on their home court in the playoffs. So hopefully that turns around on Thursday night. Their season is on the brink. Tyrese Halliburton, a triple-double tonight. Pacers win 130-121. Now lead the series 3-1. We will see you Thursday at 7, hour-long pregame show. And after Game 5, an hour-long postgame show, as will be the case throughout the Knicks of the postseason. Rick Carlisle's team, one win away from making the NBA Finals. Pascal Siakam tonight with 30. Pacers win. Tyrese Halliburton had 32. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you on Thursday. Want more than just a post-game show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.